Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Back to my story. I blocked everyone's number on my phone except for my childhood friend Natalie. And I debated on whether or not to contact her and let her know that I was okay, that I was out of the psych ward, because like I knew she was gonna go yakking to my husband and my parents, and I just like wanted some freedom. I just was like, let me live. I did end up contacting her, and I just remember sitting on the bus and I'm like arguing with her, and she's like, Megan, like, we're so worried about you, like you need help, like your husband's gonna divorce you, he's over this and all this shit. And I was just like, okay, good, like he can divorce me, like I don't give a fuck. I remember specifically, like that's exactly how I felt. I think deep down I knew I was gonna end up in a treatment center, but I wanted to while out and have an adventure before all of that, because I wanted to go out with a bang. And trust me, I went out with a fucking bang, that's for sure. I was on my meds. I had taken them in the psych ward, but I got released. They gave me a script and they're like, promise me you'll go get your meds. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go get them. And then obviously I didn't. And plus, when I was in the psych ward in California, I was on the same meds that I take today, but I was on much smaller doses. And I got to Santa Cruz, California at like 6 in the morning. And Steve's friend Laura that he lives with came and picked us up. At the time, she was Steve's boss, and Steve was living with her, and she's the one that bought my bus ticket for me. And so automatically when I see her, I'm just so stoked. We drove from the Greyhound station to her house, and she lives like literally a block away from the beach. And so right when we got there, she drove to the beach, and I got out of the car and I sprinted out of the car, took my shoes off, ran into the ocean in my clothes, and I was like hysterically crying because I was so grateful to be out of the psych ward and grateful for my freedom, because the psych ward was such a nasty place. I mentioned in the last video about the pervy ass security guard. I mentioned about all the miscommunications between my family and the psychiatrist, and I was just so grateful to be out of there. Steve and I and Laura went to brunch, and we had a bunch of mimosas, and meanwhile I have this woman named Michelle calling me over and over and over. That is basically like what would I call her? Someone that helps people get into treatment centers. And so I would talk to her on the phone, and you know, she was trying to get me to go to this treatment center on the East Coast, the one I ended up going to, but they wanted me to answer a whole bunch of questions and do this intake over the phone, which like I was so sick. I'm not able to do an intake and answer all these fucking questions. I get it that like it has to be that way, because how can you admit someone into your treatment center without an intake? But I'm just saying, I was to the point where I was so sick that it was absolutely obnoxious, and it made me not want to do it because I was just so distracted and unwell. But basically, she kept calling me, Natalie kept calling me, and meanwhile, my husband and my mom are blocked, like I won't talk to them. And when I'm manic at this level of mania, I want to FaceTime people, and so throughout my time there, I think I was there for like 2 or 3 days, I was FaceTiming people, calling people. Everyone was nice to me, and I kind of told people what was going on, some of my different friends. I got admitted to this place in Pennsylvania, but I'm in Santa Cruz, so it's like I need to get to the East Coast, and I need to get on an airplane, and I'm completely mentally insane. So it's like, how am I gonna do that? So my mom hired this woman named Katie, who she's sober herself, and she's basically like a chauffeur. Like she meets you at the airport and helps you get to wherever you're going safely, because people that need to get to treatment are either drunk or high. Like basically my mom hired her to make sure she helps me get to Pennsylvania. Leading up to meeting her at the Oakland airport, I told Steve, like, I just want to get so fucked up. Like Laura and Steve totally took care of me. And Laura, I like wanted to give her a makeover. So like we went to Bartell's and bought a whole bunch of makeup and like a curling iron, because Laura's beautiful, but she's not really into like hair and makeup and stuff. So as like my present for her taking me in, basically. I was gonna give her a makeover, and I totally did, and it was so fun. And we went out to dinner that night, and my friend Steve, he is actually a chef. He's a bomb-ass cook, and so before I left, he made us an amazing seafood dinner. We just like went out and drank and had a good time. And so finally it gets to the point where Steve needs to take me to the airport, and I was like, I need to get like super fucked up before I get on the airplane. Like, I want to be drunk as hell at the airport. And so he got me some roadies, and all the way to the Oakland airport, I drank. And by the time he dropped me off there, I was so fucking drunk. I needed a wheelchair. Like, that's so embarrassing. Like, this person from the airport brought me a wheelchair. I remember sitting in the wheelchair, and this lady, Katie, flies in, the one that's supposed to help me get to the East Coast that my mom hired, and starts like wheeling me. And basically the airlines like will not let me get on the flight. Like, because I'm so fucked up. And so that was bad. And so anyways, they had to like rebook the tickets and have me fly out of San Francisco. So Katie and I had to take an Uber from the Oakland airport to San Francisco. And I just remember like screaming and saying, I want fucking flaming hot Cheetos right now. And I was flashing, going off, yelling at the Uber driver, yelling at Katie. Poor girl. I should reach out to her and like apologize for being such a crazy bitch. But, and what's even more fucked up is I was calling her my butler. I was like, oh, here's my butler, Katie. That's so rude. Roman, shh. So the sweetheart takes me to Bartell's. I get my flaming hot Cheetos. I start to sober up. We get to the San Francisco airport. We get some food, and I'm starting to like calm down from being drunk. Well, I want to keep drinking at the airport, but now I have this Katie girl who I called my butler, and like she's not gonna let me fucking drink, and I can't like escape her. So I'm like, great, that was my last bit of drinking, and I felt like absolute dog shit. Like, I felt so sick, I can't even like explain. And I didn't actually feel that bad till I got on the airplane. And so we flew from San Francisco to New Jersey, and the flight was like, I want to say like 6 or 8 hours. I'm so sorry, my dog has to take a shit. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, I just took my dog out to go to the bathroom. So anyways, I just thought of some other things that I forgot to mention. So back before I went to the airport, I did end up talking to my husband on the phone and told him I loved him and told him I was gonna go to treatment. So like things are not good between us, but like we communicated, and I told him I'd call him when I got to treatment in Pennsylvania. And I remember one of the biggest reasons I didn't want to go to treatment before I came home to Seattle is because I wanted to get my fucking nails done, my eyelashes done, and my damn hair extensions done. I wanted to do all that before I go and get better with my mental health. So it just tells you where my priorities lie. So anyways, back to the airport. So I get on the airplane. We were like right in the front row in the middle 3 seats. And yeah, this was like a red-eye flight, and I was coming down from being drunk, and Katie, my butler, is like sleeping next to me, and I keep like waking her up because I'm like shaking and I feel so sick, and I'm just like, you know, I'm so manic, I'm so sick, I'm so scared. I'm like, fuck, I've never been to the East Coast. I'm going to the East Coast. I'm gonna be over there for a minute, probably a couple of months. I'm alone. I can't believe I was just in California, on the streets manic, in the psych ward, detained by the police, loose again, on the Greyhound to Santa Cruz, and now how am I on a flight to Newark, New Jersey? Like, what the fuck? And so I remember Katie, my butler, sleeping, and I tap the flight attendant, and I'm just like, I need to lie down. Like, I'm gonna lay down. And they're like, ma'am, laying down on an airplane is against federal regulations. And I was like, I need oxygen. So they like brought me oxygen. And it was just so embarrassing. And I remember thinking on that flight to New Jersey, I never want to feel like this again. I never want to feel this low again ever in my life. And when I went to Pennsylvania, I never thought that I was going to get sober. That wasn't my goal. I just wanted to get better. But through everything I've learned and just accepting my diagnosis, I just know that being sober is the best thing for me, you know? Like, I'm not perfect. It's an everyday battle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay sober forever, but it's always going to be something that's like a goal of mine, is to stay sober and mentally with it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm drunk, like, woo, you never know what's going to happen. So I'll just leave it at this. I'm on the airplane going to New Jersey. I feel like absolute hell. And that next morning I arrive. I haven't slept in days. I'm super manic. I'm a hot mess express, hungover, just whatever. So then I get to New Jersey and some awesome black lady picks me up, and then I'll get back to that in my next video. So thank you for watching, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate y'all showing my channel some love, and I'm sorry this video has been distracting. Roman is just so funny right now. In fact, I'm gonna show you what he looks like because this is too funny. Roman. See you next time.